But exactly when you say we should focus on the spirit, where you could say love flows in from, when we look at it in the perspective of religion, you know, the Vatican has been doing a lot about separating sex from love, and some people say that the Vatican is behind most of the porn industry. I don't know, but some people, some voices are saying that, and when we talk about the pedophiles and so, you know, we never know, but sex has been separated from love, and what we talked about yesterday was about, you know, people have been locked into the physical so-called reality, and that's what happens to as well with the sex, because with all this mechanical sex, you know, about and then 1.5 minutes, or you say 1.7 minutes or whatever, you know, and then the man snores and the woman is just, excuse me, what happened here? It's actually, if the, you know, if the sex is not together with love, if it's not the love energy that really runs the engine, you can say, or the sexual act, actually you will drain your spirit, you will drain your soul, because if it's just the mechanical, you just drain and drain and drain your spirit and your soul. But if the love is there, it's part of the unity, it's part of the, and that is actually what is strengthening the life force. And if we talk about a man and a woman being together, they are together from love, and they really make love to each other, and perhaps they want a child, or they feel that there's someone knocking, knock on the doors of heaven, or what you say, but and they do it in love, then the child will be born with a strong life force. But if it's just something that happens like a coincident Saturday night, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, after 2 bottles of red wine and whatever, you know, if there's no love in that, in the moment where the soul says, now I'm here, or whatever, the child will not have so strong life force. So love is really...
Love is very much needed, but I disagree with you because a little bit, because again, remember, the body is just a vehicle, and even if it's done just by sex without love, it still gives a vehicle. And that soul, that energy, that light body who comes to this vehicle chooses it. So, you know, he knows or she knows, it knows exactly where it's coming and why it wants to come just to this vehicle.
Yeah, that's right.
And what this vehicle and these parents can teach, and what kind of destiny this soul is going to have, that is already known before it's entering the fetus in the spiritual realm. Like my husband died already over 10 years ago, and his son got married and had a baby with his wife. And then some relatives said that, well, it was so sad that he didn't live enough to see the first grandchild. It was interesting. I had contact with his energy and got information that he has already met the energy, the light body of that person who was incarnating as his grandchild. So on that level, he already had made acquaintance with that and knew it before we in the physical world made acquaintance. It's an interesting idea, and we don't think that way because it turns everything upside down.
But it's actually interesting when you look at your own family and you look at people you know and people you get to know, like you and I have known. When you start to think and say, yeah, it all fits together. It's like a huge engine, or it's like wheels. What do you call it? The wheels with the things on that just go into click, click, click. Everything fits. And then we just have to be careful about our rational mind, that it doesn't jump in and take control, because no, it can't be that way. No, you have to, you just stay here because that's safe, and so, you know, you have to really listen to what comes, because we get the messages all the time.
Yeah, I think the human sexuality is interesting because we condemn often people who act differently. We condemned in Finland, for instance, a good example. A lady was chosen, a journalist, as chief editor of Lapland Times, Lapin Kansa. And then when she went to the interview, she was asked, "Are you married or what?" And she said yes. and I think they had children too. And then it came out later that she was lesbian and she was married to a woman. And that blew the whole thing up. You know, she was not one day in the job, she was thrown out. And then it became court cases, of course. She won at the end. And that showed, and she said in the newspapers that I have given a face to this phenomena. And she had, because it again was all over the Finnish papers. Some people accepted that she was thrown out, and some people said, no, this is just stupid, and it's against the laws too, discrimination. So when you think of love, if it's between women, if it's between men, if you love your cat, and I don't talk about sex, I talk about love. So of course it's the feeling that is there, number one. The manifestation may later be physical, but who cares? We have the old-fashioned thinking that only a penis is allowed to penetrate the vagina. We have a lot of holes, you know, up and down. And when you think that women don't need a penis, you know, you can use your hand, you can use your tongue, you can use your whole body to stimulate, for instance, a female clitoris. So that changes again the male sort of penis fixation. And I know that young boys are very worried, you know, I have so many centimeters or this way, and is that okay, and this is too short or too...
It's not the size that matters.
It really doesn't matter, because it is the love that you put into the whole thing. Yeah. So, you know, again, we have to think differently than we are used to traditionally to think about sex and sexuality and our relationships.
And when we talk about male and female, in relation, it's. I wrote in my book about stress that women is the strongest sex. You know, women have so much power, and they say, "Oh, you just write this, so you will get a lot of attention for women." No. Women has the total connection to the, you can say, the unconscious net, where all the creativity, where all resides. They have so many sensations. They have so many feelings. They have the power. The power is in the feelings. And you know, women can give life. They're so magical, but of course men has been so afraid of women that they have suppressed them with power and power and power. And this is what is going to change now, because we will have a female-controlled society in the future, right. And it will come. That's why also we see Obama has just said that Mars is the goal. Mars is the goal. Mars is the planet of power. So we actually, you know, there will be a kind of a thing going on, because women have so much power when they use their power and not, of course, become men in their actions. They have to be who they truly are. They're so magical.